All right, it is another day out here in the Montana garage, and I got my trusty helper Moose with me. But I'm not sure what we're gonna work on today. Ooh, I gotta get rid of all this glaring sunshine somehow. Learn how to use the camera, I guess. It is Sunday. Pretty nice day out there today. It's the last day of kind of the holiday Thanksgiving weekend. I didn't think I was gonna be able to be out in the shop today. I thought we were gonna go hunting, but Trey's feeling a little sick, so that's unfortunate because, well, first of all, it would have been cool to go hunting. I still could have went, but I figured I'd try to get some stuff around here. It would have been a good day. It's pretty warm out. It would have been a good day to actually prime the car, and it's pretty much ready, but like I said, I didn't realize I was gonna be out here, so I didn't kind of get it ready. And now the day's half over, and I'd have to keep it warm enough halfway through tomorrow in here, and I gotta go to work. And anyways, so I still gotta find or make some time to try to prime the car. Maybe I won't even do it. I mean, I don't think it's gonna get that much more rust on it. It's been bare metal for freaking 5 years. I just hated to see the rust starting, and I'd like to get it primed, but maybe we'll just wait until spring when we're actually ready to do the bodywork and stuff. We'll see. So today, I think I'm still waiting on parts for the front end of the frame. Supposedly, they're gonna ship this coming week. Supposedly, they told me they were gonna ship. When I ordered them, they were supposed to ship within 7 days, and then I got the call or the email that they were gonna ship till end of October, and then just nothing, you know. And so I finally called them, and they said, oh, they're gonna ship first week of December. Hope that's right. So today, maybe we'll work on this mess here. So like I've said in a different video, once I get the front suspension on the frame, I'd like to put the engine in the frame or on the frame with the transmission so I can determine the cross member. And then that may be temporary, or it may just, I guess if I have it all painted and ready to go, I should be able to leave it in there. I guess it kind of depends on how I'm gonna put the body back on the frame, and it depends on my hoisting from the rafters and stuff. It should be able to stay in there, I would think, because the engine obviously isn't going to go under the firewall, so I shouldn't have to really go any higher, right? Anyways, I'll do some figuring on that. It'd be nice to just get the engine in there and leave it in there. So we'll figure that out. But in the meantime, I guess, like I said, we need to get this drug out of here and cleaned up. I got some new got some new gaskets. I got oil pan gasket, valve cover gaskets, timing cover, and water pump. This thing, if I remember right, it did leak a little bit of oil. And if I just kind of run my finger under here, it's oily. So I know it's, you know, figured now's the time to get it sealed up. I got one of those one-piece oil pan gaskets. I've never used one of those before. It was kind of expensive, but I know it's kind of a pain getting these to seal always in these corners where the two pieces meet. Hey, Moose. Coming to check it out. So I'll give one of those one-piece gaskets a try. What's your guys' experience? Are they any good? So I got to get all this junk moved, pull it out here, and I'm going to clean it up, put the new gaskets on, and I'm going to paint it. As you can see right now, it's red. That's because back in the day when I first was building the car was going to be red and white. Everybody keeps asking me what color is the car going to be now, and it's going to be, I don't know, still haven't determined it. I'm not really, I don't know if it's ever going to get painted like I've said before. I need to kind of come up with a plan. So let's get this drug out of here. I'll have Moose. Moose, you're in charge of cleaning all this stuff up. Got it? You're not just getting cat hair on the welding jacket. You got stuff to do here. So pay attention. Moose and I will get all this stuff cleaned up. We'll move the engine out, maybe just to this space, or maybe we'll go up front where we got more room. I don't know. And we'll get to work finally. So there she is. What is it? Well, this is the engine that came in the car when I bought it from my dad. Well, I guess, yeah, I made a deal to buy the car from my dad. So this was in there. He ended up giving it to me for graduation. I think I paid him $500 for it, I think. So not a bad deal. So this was the engine that was in the car. It's pretty stout little. It's a small block Chevy, obviously, 327. It didn't take me too long to blow it up, playing around, you know, hot rodding and whatnot. And so I want to say maybe I was a sophomore in high school and I blew it up. And then back then, you know, I think I made $3.35 an hour for minimum wage. Had a job at the little local burger drive-in. So it takes a lot of burger flipping at $3.35 an hour to come up with enough money to rebuild your engine. I think my machine shop bill was over $3,000. And that may not be a lot now, but it was a lot back then, especially for a high school kid not making any money. So it's totally rebuilt. I mean, I've never had an odometer in the car, obviously, but I never drove it that much. It took me till my senior year in high school to get it back together. And then I drove it. It was my only car for, you know, maybe a little less than a year. And then it was kind of just playing around car. And then it pretty much just sat. And then I drove it a little bit more and then we took it apart. So I'm going to guess it has less than 10,000 miles on it. Probably closer to 5. Hard saying, I guess. But it's totally rebuilt. It's got a forged crank, forged pistons, I think. It's got the camel hump heads. All the heads were rebuilt. You know, new valves and springs and all that stuff. It's got a solid lifter cam in it. I have no idea what happened to the cam card, or no recollection what the, you know, the clearances for adjusting the valve lash. So hopefully I'm just going to kind of, you know, see what they're set at now, and hopefully most of them are the same and I can get an idea where it's supposed to be. Let's see what else. So it's bored 30 over. I think it's 30 over, probably. And yeah, I guess that's about it. It's a pretty, you know, for a small block, it was, you know, what is the 90s fast. It was fast back then, and ain't nothing now. You know, people making thousands of horsepower in these street outlaws or whatever. But it's got enough power to get a guy in trouble and spin the tires and do some donuts and have some fun. So that's really all I'm looking for. You know, we may try to go a little faster or a little more power somewhere down the road. But for now, we're going to freshen this guy up just with gaskets and paint. We're not going to do anything mechanical to it. You know, we'll check the lifters or the valve lash, like I said, and whatever, stuff like that. I don't know if you can notice, we got the nice Chevy finned aluminum valve cover here. And over here we got the Edelbrock finned aluminum valve cover. I really like these ones. These are the ones that were on the car. I got a matched set of mismatched ones right there. That's because at some point, for some reason, I changed the intake. And on a 327, the oil fill tube was right here next to the thermostat housing. And I switched intakes for some reason. I don't know if this one was just taller. The other one I think was a dual plane. This is a single plane. I probably thought that was going to make me more power. I don't know, but then all of a sudden I realized, well, hell, I can't put any oil in the car. So I had at the time I had a Firebird with a 350 in it, and it had these valve covers on it. So I just did a one-side swap. So I guess now we're going to have to go with these valve covers. I cannot find my other intake. I was going to maybe put that back on there, but I don't know if I sold it at some point or it's stashed somewhere. I got stuff at my dad's house. Anyways, I guess for now we'll leave it as is. We'll put the, you know, the matching Chevy valve covers on there. This distributor is the distributor out of the DD Speed Shop 57. And we already know, if you watched my videos, that that's garbage. So that's just kind of filling the hole for now. We'll go with, you know, an MSD or a Mallory or something like that in this car. So yeah, that's what I know about the engine. And we're gonna start tearing it apart and cleaning it up. One other quick thing about the engine is when I had it rebuilt, I had it all balanced. I don't think I had it blueprinted, but I had it balanced. But then at some point, I remember this because I was actually in the Burger King drive-thru in Rapid City, South Dakota. And I looked down and my temperature gauge was just, she was hot. I don't know, 250. So I shut her off and I pulled out a line and I popped the hood, and somehow my harmonic balancer, let me pull this guy out of here. So on a 327, I think on some of the other ones, you got a bolt in here that holds this in place. But on a 327, it's just a press fit, I believe. I'm kind of going by memory here. Like I said, there's no bolt. It's not threaded for a bolt. So that's just pressed on the crank, and then there's like a keyway or whatever that holds it in place. Well, my balancer that I had on there, something happened with it and it just fell off while I was sitting there idling. And then of course, fan belt and all that stuff. That's why the car overheated. So long story short is I had to just you know, my uncle had another one of these balancers or whatever. But now I guess really the engine isn't balanced because, you know, that balancer was drilled. You know, you can see on this one, I guess these are all just, but the balancer I had, you know, had weights, had spots where it was drilled out to balance, you know, the rotating assembly. I don't know, I'm not a machine shop guy, I don't know really nothing about it, but I guess long story short is it's no longer balanced, I guess, because it's got a different balancer on it, right? All right, then we have right here on the front, these little guys. For those of you that don't know, I know a lot of you guys are Tri-5 guys and you know, but these are the front engine mounts. So they bolted in there. Yeah, the little rod stuck up, and then like I said, those were right there on the frame with some, you know, rubber bushings top and bottom. I'm not going to be needing those anymore, so let's get those out of the way. All right, so I got, I think pretty much everything off it I'm going to take off of it. So now it's just a matter of cleaning it up, whoops, and scuffing it up, whatever, getting ready for paint. I haven't really decided if I'm going to take the oil pan and valve covers and stuff off. Well, I think I'll take the valve covers off because I have a spare valve cover I can set on there when I paint it, so I don't have to mask those. But the oil pan, I think the oil pan and the timing cover, we'll clean it up, we'll just leave that stuff on, I'll mask them off. Obviously I have to mask off the intake, so I'm not going to take that off. And then we'll get her painted, and then I'll change the gaskets. Because even if I take this stuff off, I still got to tape it, you know, so I don't get paint on the insides. So I think I'll just tape it, clean it, tape it, paint it, and then replace the gaskets. Sound like a plan? Let's do it. I think the first thing we'll do is hit it with some air, so we can try to get rid of, you know, some of the dust and whatnot. And then I'm hoping I can clean it up good enough just with like some brake cleaner and a spray can and a couple little brushes. Probably the first thing I'll do is I'll get some new duct tape, clean these off, tape those shut so we're not blowing shit in there. And then we'll blow it off and try the brake clean, brush, a little bit of water. Hopefully we can get it kind of clean, mostly clean, fairly clean. Clean enough to paint by doing that. Got her all blown off. Now I got some brake and parts cleaner and assortment of brushes, and we'll just see if we can get it pretty clean and degreased, and then we'll have to like scuff it all up too, of course. But let's see if this is going to work, or if we're going to have to get a little more aggressive. I think this ought to kind of do the trick, really. I can just get brushes to get in where I need to be. All right, little update. I got her mostly cleaned up. Actually, I think I got her pretty clean. So now we will probably just try to hit the whole thing with like Scotch-Brite and see if we can, you know, give the new paint something to bite into. But little update, I was back here messing with, this is an old 327. So like I said, they had valve covers with no breather holes. Oil fill was in the intake. And then this was where you got rid of your crankcase pressure. So this was called like a road draft tube. So it just had this little breather thing, and then I think a hose just ran out to the atmosphere, you know, to air down the bell housing. It was a little loose, and I don't know if it's supposed to be loose or tight, but anyways, I was trying to get this cleaned up. I thought, well, I'll just take it out of there. So I put the old wrench on it and gave it just barely a twist, and the old bolt, she broke off in the block. Oh, my light though. So I don't know if you can see down in there, but anyways, that bolt goes down in there and it's broke off in the block. So I thought, well, that can't be good. I mean, it's down in there ways. A guy could probably get a drill and easy out in there. So I did a little Google researching, and I guess what a lot of folks do is they just put like a rubber grommet. Let me show you. I just checked it and it worked, or it fits. So over here on the 57, I got a rubber grommet and a PVC valve in the valve cover there. So that rubber grommet fits in that hole. So instead of running that draft tube, I guess you can just put a PVC valve in there and then loop that back to the carb, or even on this one, I got a vacuum port right in the back of the intake. So I don't think I'm going to worry about trying to extract that bolt and replace this guy. We'll just plug her with the old PVC. Seemed like a good plan to you guys. I read it on, I don't know if it was the Ham or, I don't know, I read through a few different things and I came up with that on the old internet. So let me know if you know if that's a bad idea, but that's my plan for now because I don't really want to mess with that bolt. I got her mostly cleaned up. I got her all cleaned up or degreased or whatever, pretty good anyways. So I'm going to try to see if this kind of, I don't know what color Scotch-Brite this is. It said it was for primer sanding. Anyway, I'm going to scuff the whole works with this, and then we'll blow it off and wipe the whole thing down again with some sort of wax and grease remover, and then we're ready to mask off. And I don't know if I'll get it sprayed today or not. It's getting kind of late. I just got to make sure it's going to stay warm enough in here, but we'll see how long this takes, or if this is actually going to do what I need it to do. I'm not going to worry about obviously getting all this paint off of here. I mean, what's stuck, I guess, is stuck, so we'll scuff it, shoot it. I got some high temp primer, so I'll prime areas like this that are bare metal. Otherwise, we're just gonna spray the orange right over top of the red and hope for the best. Seems like this is doing a little scuffage. This is going to take some time though, so let's speed it up. Had some green too. It actually seems a bit more aggressive, so I think I'll go with the green. All right, plan C. The Scotch-Brite it's doing a little bit, but I don't feel like it's doing enough, so I got some 320. I'm just gonna go over the whole thing with 320 first, and then I'll do the Scotch-Brite because I can't get into all the little nooks and crannies with the paper as well. So we'll get there eventually. This is obviously gonna take a while, so we'll just bring it back when we're done, if we ever get done. All right, so I've been sanding for way too long. I feel like this is one of those kind of things that you could just keep doing it forever and still not really have it good enough. So I tried to kind of feather out the stuff in the front that you're gonna see. I might have to hit that a little better. And then I ended up hitting it all with, I got some 220 sandpaper. It seemed like it was a little more aggressive, but not leaving like big scratches in it. So I hit it all with 220. Then I went back over all of it with the Scotch pad, and I actually took a screwdriver and I kind of dug it into places that I couldn't really reach with the sandpaper, like out here in front, like getting into some of these. Just tried to kind of scratch it up a little bit. So hopefully give the new paint something to bite on. So, like I said, I feel like I could keep doing this all night, but hopefully it's good enough. So I'm going to hit the front of this side just a little bit more to try to feather that, and then we'll blow her off. Next day, back out in the Montana garage. I kind of wimped out yesterday and didn't finish my painting project. I just kind of ran out of time, had other stuff I had to do. So after work now, and it's mostly, or I got it cleaned and as sanded as it's gonna get, I guess. So I'm gonna throw some masking paper on it, or masking tape, maybe some paper too. We're gonna touch up the bare metal areas with some primer. Let that set for a little bit, obviously, and then we'll hit her with a couple coats of paint. Tapey, tapey. Well, let's see. How do I want to go about this? Just cover up the exhaust holes here, press them down real good, and then try to trim it off with a knife. All right, fast forward a little bit. I got a little more tape on here, not a lot. Valve covers are gone. My wife came out to talk to me, and so I shut the camera off for a while. And now my buddy Moose joined us. Can you see him down there? Yep. So I should probably get rid of that oil so he doesn't get all in the oil. But anyways, back to fast motion. I almost forgot I got a harmonic balancer and a water pump laying on the floor over there. I guess I might as well get these cleaned up so I can spray them at the same time. I don't have to get my fingers all unoiled, and we'll wipe everything down. And this freaking harmonic balancer was the dirtiest part of the whole engine. And that's probably because, I think I said on here earlier that the one that I originally had on the engine came off. And when that happened, the 55 was my only car, so that was my, I gotta go to work on Monday car. So I'm sure I found this harmonic balancer, either my uncle had it or somebody I knew had it, or I found it somewhere, bought it, whatever, I don't remember. And there was no time for making it pretty. Had to get her on and get it back together so I get to work, kind of deal. So anyways, she'll be pretty now. I'm gonna get some of this paint off here just with the old air gun. Well, we got a little. I guess we're gonna have to scrape now. I guess you guys didn't see none of that, did you, down here? You can't see down there? Oh well. All right, I think I got everything taped off that I want to tape off. I don't know if I showed you this. So I got my rocker adjusting valve cover here. So instead of taping the valve covers off, I'll just throw this one on each side before I paint it. And that'll be how we handle that. But I think I got some Prepsol here. And I'm just gonna squirt a little on and wipe it off, blow it off. Actually, if I remember right, That's the thing about these spray bottles, these chemicals. The chemicals eat away the frickin' rubber in here. I think last time I tried to spray this stuff, I couldn't get it to spray. So I guess we'll have to do it this way or go find another spray gun. Now the fun part. All right, you're about to figure out which color we're going with. Actually, just kidding. This is primer. The only problem is I seen I had some primer and I felt it. I was like, there's quite a bit of primer there, enough for some touch-ups. There's not as much primer in there as I thought, so hopefully I can at least touch all the bare metal spots with one little coat of primer. We'll let that set for a little bit and come back with the color. All right, we'll call that good. Let her sit for a little bit and we'll come back with some color. What color is it gonna be? You ever feel like you're losing your mind? Is it just me? I'm getting old, I know, and maybe a little, crazy. I don't think I am, but. So just yesterday, I went and bought gaskets and a can of engine paint. Here's all my gaskets. I remember grabbing them all from the truck. I think I put the paint in my little hoodie pocket here, my pouch. I can't find the dang paint. I've looked all over. I thought it was just over there with that stuff I just brought in. It's not in this junk. All my paint and stuff's over here. I tore through all that. Losing my freaking mind. The only thing I can think is maybe I put it in the house because I didn't want it to get cold. I don't think I did that, but anyways, we got the primer drying. We got the heat cranking so this stuff can dry. I gotta let it sit another 20 minutes or so and then I can top coat it if I can find something to top coat it with. Hopefully I'll be back with a can of engine paint. Otherwise, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Update time. It's, I don't know, 10-15 minutes later. I've been tearing everything apart, looking for my new can of paint that I just bought. I'm not totally crazy. I know I just bought it. I went in the house to see if I left it in there. I looked through all that stuff again. I went double checked in the truck that I was driving yesterday when I bought it to make sure I didn't leave it in there. I was sure I didn't. And I looked back over by the stuff that where I thought it was in the car. And I was just running out of ideas. I'm just like looking around, looking at everything. And then where else could it possibly be? Well, here's my 3 big boxes of CPP parts. Still waiting on some so I can put that together. But there's my paint. Not a very good spot to set it because you're gonna spend 20 minutes looking for it if you put it inside the box where you can't see it. Anyways, the good news is my primer's dry now because I spent all the time looking for the paint. So let's get her shook up and we'll show you what color it's gonna be. All right, well, I think we're ready to start spraying. Did you guys guess which color it's gonna be yet? Last chance. Winner gets nothing. All right, here goes. Where should we start? Any ideas where we should start? I'm gonna start right here in front. Orange, baby. Back to Chevy orange. I think I've talked in another video that I don't know for sure what color the car is gonna be, but I was leaning towards orange, and you know, even if the car doesn't end up orange, can't go wrong with the Chevy orange small block, right? Knocking over boxes. I guess I don't really need to worry about switching that valve cover. A little tiny bit of overspray on the valve train there, I'm sure is no big deal, right? Right? So trying to go with kind of a light coat for this first coat, especially because it's a little cold. Not sure what the camera's looking at because I'm watching what I'm doing and just kind of pointing the camera in that general direction. All right, we'll call that good for coat number one. We'll let that sit for, I'll read the instructions, but probably 10 minutes or so. We'll come back out for more. 3 coats of Chevy orange later, and I think she's looking pretty darn good. You know, pretty good for amateur paint job anyways. You can still see kind of like where I didn't get the red stuff feathered if you're looking close. Nobody's gonna be looking that close. I think it looks pretty good. I don't see any big runs or drips or whatever. We got the balancer and the water pump painted also. I will have to flip those over and do the other side. I actually did the water pump on the other side first, so it's got at least one coat on the other side. Ran out of paint though, but so I'll have to get a little more for that. So this is probably where I'll leave it for tonight. I gotta let her dry, you know, and cure up a little bit. Got the heat rolling, it's staying plenty warm in here. I'll probably let it run for a couple more hours, and then I'll come out and shut it off, and it'll be what it is. And then maybe tomorrow we'll come back out and take all the masking paper off after work, and we'll do the little reveal, see what it looks like, and then that'll probably be it for this video. And my parts, the rest of the parts for the front end are supposed to ship December 2nd or something like that, they said. Beginning of December, so beginning of next week, I guess that is, or sometime this week. I don't know what the heck the date is. But as soon as that stuff shows up, we can get back over here. If you're a member of the channel, you already saw the post that showed you what's in those boxes. The rest of you folks gotta wait until I do the reveal, but the members, there's a post on the community tab where I showed you what's in there and what parts I'm going with, and what this is gonna have on it as far as front suspension, brakes, that sort of thing. So if you want to know sooner, do the little membership thing, go check it out. Otherwise, see you tomorrow. This engine stand, it just seems like, you know, the weight of the engine kind of sags down, so usually I put a block of wood under the front there just to hold it up, but if I'm leaving it for a long time, I mean, just for short periods of time, it's never, you know, collapsed yet, so I guess we're good to go. But I always just kind of block it up in the front. So this sat overnight, so I shouldn't have to be too super careful about getting this off here, but I'll be a little careful around the edges, I guess, make sure we're not pulling something free. But so this actually had some red paint on it before. Might be a little new orange paint right there. Anyways, I'm sure that's just kind of a mess that I can get cleaned off of there. Even the stuff from before, I'm sure. All right, let's put you on fast motion. We'll get the rest of this taken off of here. Time to see how we did. I think we did, you know, pretty good. What's supposed to be orange is orange, and for the most part, what's not supposed to be orange isn't orange. We do have a little orange there, and then there's just a little hint of overspray on the top part of the intake that I didn't cover very good, and a little orange right there. We'll grab some thinner or some sort of cleaner or something and see if we can't clean that off, and I'm sure we can. And then other than that, I think it turned out pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect because you can kind of see kind of the, like I said before, where some of the paint was, like right here, there was, you know, paint and not paint, and I didn't feather all that out, spent a bunch of time doing it, but it's Chevy orange. It'll look good sitting in the car, and I've said it several times, it's not a show car, so it doesn't got to be perfect. We'll get the oil pan and the timing cover gasket changed. I think I'll do that in another video because I probably have more than enough footage to make this video. I'm making them longer than I plan on because I don't want to cut too much stuff out, so I don't want to get too much in here, so we'll call this one here. Next video, or I don't know if it'll be the next one, I got a couple other things already filmed, so soon in another video we'll be changing these gaskets and doing the last final few things to get this thing ready to go. So we'll call that one here. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff we always talk about. And also, I almost forgot, in the other video, which I don't even remember what it was about, the last video I did, I showed you guys Moose's little book that he's in, that my wife and daughter wrote, and a bunch of you guys went and bought it. So I tried to email you, the people that did reach out to me via email, I thanked you personally in email. If you didn't reach out to me to request stickers for buying the book, then I didn't get a chance to thank you, because I don't know who buys them. You know, we don't get a name or whatever unless you tell me you bought it. So the guys that I already thanked, thanks again. And the ones that I wasn't able to thank, I'm thanking you right now. And if you never had a chance to check it out, I'll put the link in the description, or you can go back in the last video and look at it, and go to Amazon and check out that book. So anyways, appreciate all you guys do to help support the channel. We'll see you on the next one. Oh yeah, a little bit of lacquer thinner on a rag, and that little bit of overspray is coming right off of there. Just like I figured it would. One of these days I'll quit painting my floor too. Probably not.